7:44. Let's go off into space with Dylan Storey. Thanks very much to the Auckland Stardome Observatory, staring into what we can see up there. Good morning, Dylan.
Good morning, Wammo.
And today we're looking at the planets that are visible at the moment, and also the autumn equinox that's just been.
Yes. All right. Autumn equinox. Let's start with. I'm certainly noticing that it's getting darker when I wake up in the morning when I get up.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and that's because we've gone past the point where the length of the day and length of the night is the same. So that's the equinox. Now it sort of snuck up a day earlier than it usually does this year.
Does it?
And I actually missed it because I was thinking it's usually around the 21st. Sometimes it sort of lands on the 22nd, just depending on the alignment of the calendar days with the Earth's actual axis pointing times. And then it was on the 20th this year. I was thinking, why did I miss it? Why was it on the 20th?
29 days in February.
It's a leap year. Yep. So the calendar's all been shunted around a bit so that it will line up because Earth's orbit around the Sun is not 365 days, it's 365 and a quarter.
Yeah.
Meaning that every 4 years we have to add one to the calendar to keep up, and that's not quite accurate either. So over long periods of time, even that cycle gets out of sync, and we have to add some leap seconds to the year.
Yeah. Okay, so the equinox been and gone, meaning that it's really kind of the official beginning of autumn now, rather than the arbitrary sort of 1st of March date. That's
right. Yeah, that's how I think of my seasons, as sort of equinox to solstice.
Yeah. And
so on. So yeah, I can go into autumn mode safely now.
Yeah. And
but the leap seconds won't make too much difference to my getting up time, unfortunately.
Indeed. And a bit of excitement about the planets and their arrangement at the moment, and the fact that they can be seen in such a unique way.
Yeah, it's a really good time for viewing planets at the moment. There are 5 planets that are visible to the naked eye at any time. The only time you can't see one is when it happens to be around the back of the Sun, or in front of the Sun in the case of the 2 inner planets, which happens quite often. But the thing is that the evening sky now, so after it gets dark, after the Sun goes down, we can actually see 4 planets. So it's quite special. We've got 2 over there in the west. We've got the 2 brightest ones, Jupiter and Venus. They'll be setting in the west. So the 2 bright lights to the west just after dark are those 2 planets. And because Venus moves with regard to the background stars much faster than Jupiter, you can make out Venus's change in position from day to day.
Yeah.
That means that you see the configuration of them change. So you've got the 2 bright lights, and if you look basically from night to night, you'll see their shape change. The position between the 2 of them will change, and they'll get lower and lower on the horizon and harder to see. So it's only for another week or so that you'll actually see Jupiter and Venus in the west. The brightest planet at the moment has just gone past its opposition, meaning its closest point to Earth, is Mars, which will be in the, let me think, if I'm standing here, it's kind of in the northeast. So it's in the constellation Leo, and we're talking sort of just after dark. It'll be a bright, you'll definitely notice the reddish colour.
Okay.
And it will be bright. It will stand out from all the other things. It'll stand out as sort of the brightest star in that area of the sky, and it's got a definite red colour. So look out for Mars. And sneaking back into view, just coming up on the eastern horizon in the evening sky, we've got Saturn again. So we're getting into the season for Saturn once again.
And of course, this is all building up, of course, to the transit of Venus later on.
Yes. So Venus will be passing in front of the Sun. It's June. What's the date again? It's June. It's June the 15th. I can't remember off the top of my head, but passing in front of the Sun, which is quite an exciting event for astronomers and geeks like myself.
The transit of Venus was what Captain James Cook. It was one of the things he came to do down in this part of the world. No.
Yeah, it was basically his excuse for taking a boat down this part of the Earth.
Yeah.
And he had the added bonus of discovering New Zealand. And so transit of Venus. Venus goes in front of the Sun. You can see a tiny little dot passing in front of the Sun. And so it's the sort of zone where you can see that from is often not the whole of the Earth. So it's just a part of the Earth, like a lunar eclipse. Or a solar eclipse, it only covers part of the Earth, so that's why he was heading down this way.
Yeah.
Now, when I say see it, you must not look at the Sun, because it can make you go blind. You have to have special solar viewing equipment, which the Stardome Observatory in One Tree Hill has, and will be holding viewing sessions for the transit of Venus in June. A special, very expensive solar telescope, so you can actually look through and look at the Sun through a telescope without setting your eyes on fire.
So we hope for some clear and cloudless days in June. But thanks very much. In the meantime, that's great. So check out those planets in the night sky. Dylan Storey is over at twitter.com/Dylan Storey if you want to continue the conversation there. And also, thanks very much to the Auckland Stardome. Thanks, Dylan.
Thanks, Wammo.
It is now 10 minutes away from 8, coming up after 8 o'clock here on the show, State of It with